Hello learners, welcome to the BA first year class of English again. This is the official YouTube channel of Department of English, Government College Sirohi, and I am your teacher Renuka Verma. In today's class, we are going to talk about the essay Third Thoughts by George Lucas. It is a very personal essay in which Lucas is relating a story of his friend in which he bought something at a very cheap rate and resell it at a very large profit, and how that profit made him think and rethink about whether to share the amount of profit with the original seller or not. So as we can see, that third thought is a coinage which is taken from the idiom second thought, which means when we think or rethink about an opinion. The essayist is of the opinion that there is no end to think and rethink when one's mind is taken over by selfishness. So if when one becomes selfish, it is of no use to think or rethink about being very benign to others, being very genuine to others. So see how it goes. The author was told, that means the essayist Lucas was told this story by one of his friends, and the friend told him that it is his work to buy something and to resell it at a very profitable rate. And he says that one day changed into a very fortunate day for him, and that brought him very unexpected earnings. So one day one of his friend bought something at a very cheaper rate and resold it at a very profitable rate. So the friend is retelling the story that drifting around the old curiosity shops of a cathedral city, he came upon a portfolio of watercolor drawings. So when he was drifting, he was walking around a curiosity shop. His eyes caught upon the watercolor paintings, and among these, the drawing by Turner attracted him very much. So one of the pieces of drawing was a painting by Turner, a very famous painter. So he asked the seller its price, and the dealer said that it cost only 10 shillings. So he was very surprised at how such a great painter's painting could cost only 10 shillings, and that he was answered that it was not the Turner, and it is the copy of the original painting by Turner. So he paid 10 shillings. The friend paid 10 shillings to the dealer and bought it from him, and then the next moment he sold it at the cost of 50 pounds, and thus earned a huge profit, exactly 49 pounds 10, and was duly elated. So he was very much elated and very happy that he bought the painting in just 10 shillings, and he resold it at a very profitable rate, at a very huge profit of 49 pounds. So the second thought, okay, now his thought, you can say the bargain of the mind started, and he started thinking about the profit. So he thought that the dealer must also participate in the huge profit, because he has earned more, and the seller, who did not know originally that it was original Turner, so that huge profit, some amount of the huge profit must be given to the dealer. So he thinks that the dealer behaved very well with him, and he should also behave well with him. So hence it would be fair to send him half of the earning. Half of his profit should be shared by the dealer. So after having decided this, he sat down and wrote a little note saying that the potential Turner drawing turned out to be authentic and original. So he writes on the paper that the painting turned very original, authentic piece by Turner, and he had great pleasure in enclosing half of the proceeds. So he writes that he wants to share half of the profit, because the painting which he got, Turner, which he got from the dealer, was turned out to be original, and it made him a huge profit. So as he had no stamps and was late by an hour, he could not post the letter and went to bed. So he could not post the letter, and he woke up at around 3:30 a.m. and began to review his life's errors. So again, the next morning he started rethinking about his last night's decision of sharing half of his profit with the dealer. So this process of evaluation and review led him to examine and cross-examine the contents of the letter, and he again examined the contents of the letter, and his thoughts ran why he should give half of the proceeds to the dealer, as it was useless to be quixotic in this modern world. So he is saying that it is foolish to be so much moralistic and very benign in this modern materialistic world. So it was only his eyes that detached the probability of this business, in which he had remained a complete failure, and thus why he should put a premium for inaptitude. So he says that the dealer who sold Turner at a very cheap rate was very impractical, and he did not has the aptitude of perceiving the original paintings. So and at a present of 10 pounds would be more than enough. So on the second thoughts, he decided that he will only share 10 pounds rather than 25 pounds. So then he took a storybook and read one, as sleep was refusing to oblige him. So he was reading the story, and his thoughts ran thus why he should send 10 pounds even. So earlier he decided to share half of the profit, then he came down upon 10 pounds, and then now he is thinking that why he should share 10 pounds with the dealer who was not capable of thinking that of drawing out the originality of the painting. So he thinks that he should not be given 10 pounds even. So he says that if he it will only give the dealer a wrong idea of his customers. None other would be so fair and sporting to him, and he will expect every day such letter, and this will make him disappointed. So he says that he should not share the amount of 10 pounds. Thus he will get embittered and become miserable. So it was a crime to injure his existing nature. So 5 pounds would be plenty. So again he comes down and he comes to 5 pounds. So then the next morning he thinks about it again, and his thoughts ran thus that why he should bring a financial coup in his life by giving such a large part of money away, and he should control his feelings. So at last he decides to give only 1 pound to the dealer. But what happens that night he played bridge so disastrously, and he failed in the bridge, and he lost lots of money, and that is why he decides that he will not send anything to the dealer, and he consoles his soul, his mind, that buying and selling were a perfectly straightforward matter between dealer and customer. So it was just a very practical and very pragmatic process between a dealer and a seller, that he sold me something and I resold it at a profit. So there is no need to share the profit with the dealer. So at last, the friend of the writer, the essayist, decides that the dealer asks as much as he thinks he can extort, and the customer, having paid the price, is under no obligation of the dealer, and he should not share any of the profit with the dealer. So how the materialism and the selfishness overpowered the mind of the friend, and at last, after thinking and rethinking and overthinking, he decides that he is not going to share any profit with the dealer. So this is how Lucas has made a very humorous and very ironical and very satirical taunt upon the modern days materialism and modern day selfishness. So please go through the essay again. Enough for today. Thank you.